whether you are in the heights of joy or the depths of sorrow, they all come back to that central core thing, that you are beloved by God and that He desires only good for you. And Mary knew that, which is why she was able to say this incredible yes. Hi, welcome to Seeking to Remain. My name is Kate. Thanks so much for joining me as we continue to move through this Advent season and celebrate the upcoming Sunday Gospel and reflect on things that are in it, what God might be sharing with us, what He's been sharing with me in my own heart, and hopefully that inspires you to dig a little deeper into the Gospel yourself. This Sunday, we have the Annunciation is our reading. And it's a reading that we've heard often. It's one that comes up pretty frequently, and it's one of, like the major Christmas stories. So I wanted to think a little bit about Mary and how she was able to give the response that she did. We hear in the Gospel after Gabriel announces this good news, and they have their dialogue where Mary asks, "How can this be?" And he answers her and tells her about Elizabeth as well. Then Mary says, "Behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord. May it be done to me according to your word." Mary asks a question, but I feel like there's probably a lot more questions that could have been asked. The how, the why, the societal issues that come up with this, unplanned pregnancy outside of marriage, all those things. There's a lot that Mary could have asked, and continued asking and asking. And I know when I'm presented with something I don't understand, I ask a lot of questions, either in person or, of God. So as I was thinking about that and reflecting on it, I kept coming back to morning prayer, actually, and this intense study of the Psalms that it has been for me. I say morning prayer every day, and then at night, Ben and I do night prayer together. And I've been praying, we've been doing it since May, so not quite a full year, but more than half a year, which is pretty cool to think about, actually. And since October, every day in the morning after I say morning prayer, I've been writing down one verse or phrase from that day's prayer that especially stuck out to me, kind of like Lectio Divina style, but not necessarily going back to it the way that you would for Lectio Divina, because morning prayer is quite large. Lectio Divina usually is a much shorter section. But so I just have this little notebook that I've been writing down one thing each day. And so I went through that, and I found a couple Psalms that I think are a little, is illustrative a word? That illustrate well where Mary could have been coming from. Mary was a good Jew. She was a good Jewish woman, young girl, teenager, who would have known the Psalms, heard them regularly, prayed them daily. The Psalms were a rich, rich part of the whole liturgical experience of a Jewish person, and continues to be today, and is also for us with our liturgical practices. And Liturgy of the Hours is based strongly on those Psalms. So I pulled a couple Psalms that I felt like, again, I want to say illustrative, but I don't think that's actually a word, that I think could have been important to Mary, or at least help to form her response, her openness, her willingness, her trust, her ability to say yes. So, anyway. So from Psalm 33, for the word of the Lord is faithful, and all his works to be trusted. The Lord loves justice and right, and fills the earth with his love. By his word the heavens were made, by the breath of his mouth all the stars. He collects the waves of the ocean, he stores up the depths of the sea. Let all the earth fear the Lord, all who live in the world revere him. He spoke, and it came to be. He commanded, it sprang into being. He frustrates the designs of the nations. He defeats the plans of the peoples. His own designs will stand forever, the plans of his heart from age to age. And that last part, especially, Mary got to hear God's plans in what Gabriel presented to her. And no matter what plans she may have had for her life, she got to see into the heart of God's plans. And hearing all of this about how good God's plans are and his designs and the things that he has created, how could she not say, yes, I will participate in that. I have heard of these plans, and now I get to know these plans. It's pretty amazing. Let's see, another one. This one is jumping through Psalm 119. I will call with all my heart, Lord, hear me. I will keep your commands. I call upon you, save me, and I will do your will. In your love, hear my voice, O Lord. Give me life by your decrees. Those who harm me unjustly draw near. They are far from your law. But you, O Lord, are close. Your commands are truth. Long have I known that your will is established forever. To be confident in the will of God. To be confident that he keeps his promises, and that someday, any day, those promises will come true. And Mary is hearing that the promised time is come, that this is God's will. And so she enters into it. And last from Psalm 100, indeed, how good is the Lord, eternal his merciful love. He is faithful from age to age. Mary knew that no matter what was being asked of her, that God was faithful. She knew that his plans were the ones that would lead her and her people to that fullness of salvation. So while she maybe didn't know all the details, and she didn't know how things were going to turn out, she did know that God is trustworthy. And she did know that he would be faithful to her and that she would be faithful to him. So I would just encourage you, if you haven't spent time with the Psalms, to consider, if morning prayer, if that's too big of an ask, maybe just reading one psalm a day. That Hallow app again has Bishop Barron reads through all of the Psalms, so you can listen to a psalm a day. I think it might be like the Psalms in 30 days. I'll have all the official details in the description. So you can listen to all the Psalms in 30 days. You can read through them yourself. You'd be surprised how many Psalms you know already just from singing them at Mass. Every Sunday we read at least one psalm, or we sing it. And when you sing, you remember it better. Some of just the regular songs that we sing come from the Psalms, and then there's the actual psalm between the first and the second reading on Sunday. The Psalms express every emotion possible. No matter what you are feeling, you can find a psalm for it. And no matter what you are feeling, that psalm will always guide you back to God's goodness, to His faithfulness, to His mercy, and to His love. Whether you are in the heights of joy or the depths of sorrow, they all come back to that central core thing, that you are beloved by God and that He desires only good for you. And Mary knew that, which is why she was able to say this incredible yes. Don't forget, there is a Christmas video since we're in this end of Advent and then right away it's Christmas. So I hope that you check that out as well. And if you missed any Advent videos, at the end of this video is a link, or there's the little box with the playlist for all the Advent content. I hope that you have had a blessed Advent and that you are looking forward to a most joyful Christmas.